When I was a little girl, it seems like everyone had a yarn octopus on their bed, usually made for them by their grandmother. I revisited this craft recently and I decided to make a smaller version of this classic yarn craft. Everything is cuter when it's smaller. To make the octopus, you will need yarn, scissors, a cotton ball, thick white craft glue, googly eyes or beads, and a piece of cardboard or a clipboard or a thin book that measures about 12 inches. To make the yarn octopus, you're going to wrap the yarn full time around like so. So that's one wrap, and you're going to do that 12 times. Once you have it wrapped around 12 times, you're going to go ahead and cut the end and slide those loops off your board. You're going to lay your loops down. Just cut a piece of your yarn, find the middle, and you're going to tie a nice tight knot. I'm going to clip those ends because you don't need those. All right, so this is going to be the top of the octopus head, right where you've tied that knot. Now what you're going to do is you're going to find the bottom of those loops and go ahead and just cut them. Now you're going to use a cotton ball, or you can use even a wadded up piece of paper or extra yarn, but something that is circular like this, maybe a tinfoil ball. I like to use a cotton ball because it's soft. And we're going to put that just right where you tied the knot. And we're going to wrap that yarn on both sides tightly around the cotton ball and then kind of spread out the pieces of yarn so you can't see whatever is inside of there. You're going to take another piece of yarn and you're going to tie it tightly right around the bottom of that cotton ball. Okay. And we're going to trim off the extra yarn there. All right, I'm going to do a little rearranging of my strands. So now we're ready to braid the legs. So if we do a little math here, we've got 48 pieces of yarn and we're going to have 8 legs. So we're going to use 6 pieces per leg. So 2 pieces of yarn, so we're using 6 total to braid the leg of the octopus. Now you've got a lot more length of yarn here than you need. I think these are cuter with shorter legs that are about halfway down the strands. You can make them longer if you like. For me, once I've braided more like 2/3 of the way, so you can see how I've braided that, then I'm going to clip another piece of thread and tie that off. Tie a nice tight knot at the end. And I like to put my knot strings and the rest of the strands together and just make a clip like that. So you've got one leg finished and you're just going to repeat with the other 7 legs. Once you have all 8 legs braided, I like to glue on some googly eyes here. You could also glue on some beads or felt eyes, whatever you want to do. I like the look of the googly eyes, so I'm going to use some thick white craft glue. Put a fairly big blob on there so that you make sure they're on there securely. It's okay if a little bit oozes out on the sides because it will dry clear. What I also like to do is to cover up the little pieces of yarn here is just add a little contrasting yarn or a piece of ribbon and tie that around the neck. All right, one last thing that you might like to do is to thread a loop of yarn through that top knot that we made if you want to hang your octopus like this guy. Cute.